Well, welcome everyone, and thank you again for joining us today. This is our web series number 12, and we're really excited to have you today. This one's going to be packed with a lot of practical, useful information that I think a lot of dental office managers and practice owners are really going to find very valuable. So let's just get into it. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, my name's Shelby, and I'm the engagement specialist here at TempStars. We're your number one dental staffing platform in all of North America. So thanks for joining us. And before we dive in, I just want to ask you something. Have you ever had this happen to you in your practice before? A patient cancels last minute. A team member calls in sick the morning of the shift. Your schedule completely shifts overnight. And if you've said yes to any of these, which I'm guessing you have because we've seen it a lot in our customer support, then you're absolutely in the right place. And I'm excited to give you the playbook of how to handle any of these situations with confidence. Okay, so here's a quick look at everything that we'll be covering today. It's going to be 9 topics lined up that I want you to know that every single one of them comes from real life situations that we've personally seen, and we're going to be able to navigate those everyday situations for you. So we're going to walk through the most common last minute scenarios, your options when things change, how to modify the hours correctly, what short notice cancellations actually cost your practice, how TempStars can help you last minute, the 18-hour offer window. This is a big one, so tune in for that. And then when exceptions will apply, best practices, and then we'll, of course, wrap it all up with some key takeaways. And by the end of today, you'll have a very clear handbook of handling any last-minute situations with confidence. That's our goal. Okay, so let's get started by setting the scene here. So I want you to think about which of these has happened to you in your practice, because I'm willing to bet at least one of these sounds very familiar to you. So multiple patients cancel and suddenly you don't need a full coverage for a temp. A team member calls in sick the night before or the morning of a shift. A slower than expected day means that you need to shorten the shift you already have posted. An unexpected closure due to power outage, equipment failure, or an emergency, or severe weather that makes it unsafe for staff or patients to travel. We see this a lot in the winter time, right? So now here's what I want you to hold on to as we move through today's session. Every single one of these situations has a solution. We have seen it. We have worked with offices through it. So it's all knowing your options and acting quickly. Okay, so something has come up and you know you need to make a change. Before you do anything, just pause. Take a moment, because a lot of offices go straight to cancellation. They just hit that button. And when that's actually not the best or the only option for you, so we're going to break down what the options are. We'll go over the 3. So option 1 is to modify the hours. This is probably the best when you still need some coverage, but not the full day. Option 2 is a short notice cancellation. This is for when you genuinely no longer need any type of coverage. And then option number 3 is to simply keep the shift and to pivot, using the temp's time differently than originally planned. We're going to walk through each of them in detail, but I wanted to plant the seed in your mind right now that cancellation should always be your last resort, not the first response. And we'll look at why that is. So let's break down the options here. So here's what they look like in practice, okay? If you choose to modify the hours, the key thing to remember is that this must be done through the platform, not just sending a message to your temp. Once you propose the new hours, the temp can then accept or decline. Simple as that. And if you go with the short notice cancellation, anything within 24 hours means compensation is owed to the temp. So just remember that. We'll cover the exact formula of what that looks like on the next slide, but just remember. And again, it should be your last resort when it comes to modifying your shifts. And if you choose to keep the shift and then pivot, just think about what else could be accomplished with that time. You could do sterilization, patient follow-ups, chart prep, deep cleaning. A productive temp is almost always worth keeping. And honestly, keeping the shift protects your relationship with the professional and your office's reputation on TempStars. And remember, modifying is almost always better than canceling for your wallet and for your reputation. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Now let's get into the specifics here of modifying hours, because the timing of when you make the changes really matters here. So if you're modifying with more than 24 hours before that start time of the shift, you're in a great position. That's the best spot to be. You have options. You can propose new hours through the platform. And again, like I said before, the temp can either accept those changes or decline them. And if they decide to decline, you can either revert back to the original hours that you agreed upon, or you can just cancel and repost the shift for the exact hours you need. And then no short notice cancellation, there's no penalty there. So this is probably your most ideal window to make any type of changes. Now, moving into within that 24-hour period from the start time, you're in a little bit of less protection here. So the temp may only be paid for the hours actually worked, but if they decline the modified hours and you cancel as a result, that short notice cancellation penalty will kick in. And it's 50% of the shift value minus 30 minutes. And if the shift has already started and you shorten it, the temp is protected. They're entitled to 100% of the hours worked plus 50% of any lost hours through that change. The only exception is if the unpaid downtime was clearly noted in the original shift details. And again, I can't stress this enough. Always, always, always do this through the platform. The billing follows the booking screen, not just in-app messages. So if it's not updated in the platform, then it doesn't count for the billing. Okay, so short notice cancellation policy. Let's get into that. So sometimes the cancellation is just genuinely unavoidable, right? And we understand that, but I want to make sure every office knows the full cost before they get there, because it's not just financial, okay? The financial cost, the formula here is 50% of the shift value minus that 30 minutes. So to put that in real terms into an example, if you have a $300 shift, that means that approximately $135 is owed to the temp. But the financial cost isn't everything. It's just half the story. There's also the reputation of the cost, right? So the patterns of cancellation could lead to fewer temps submitting offers. Marking your office as favorites is going to decline, and it could lead to a potential account review. So the bottom line is that just one cancellation is just a moment, right? But then a pattern starts to be a reputation. And we want every office on TempStars to have a really good one. So let's try to avoid it and move through it. And again, cancellations should be your last result. Okay. So here's something I just love sharing with a lot of our offices is that genuinely surprises a lot of people, is that TempStars is actually built for that last minute. So even when things go sideways, the platform has many tools designed to help you recover quickly. So instant notifications, that moment that you post a shift of any available temp within with your area is notified immediately, and that speed matters here, and TempStars delivers on that. We have that partial offer. So if no one can cover that full shift, temps can offer availability for a portion of it. It's a minimum of 3 consecutive hours within a 72 hours of that start time. So even if you can't get full coverage, you can still get some. The favorite roster that I mentioned before. So temps you've worked with before and marked you as a favorite are more likely to respond quickly because they already know your office and have a relationship with you. Posting anytime is a great one, right? So TempStars available 24/7. You can log in at 2 a.m. You can log in at 6 a.m. You can log in at midnight, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, post the night before, the morning of. We're always on, we're always available. And the multiple partial offers. So I mentioned that we have the ability to accept the partial offer to cover different portions of the shift, but you can actually accept multiple partial offers for the same day to cover as much of the shift as possible. And you'll only pay that one placement fee, regardless of how many partial offers you accept. Okay, moving on. So this slide is something that I feel really passionate about because missed offers are one of the most common and most prevalent problems we see. And by we, I mean I see them. I have a sheet that I work on every single morning for offers that get missed. So I want to make sure that this is something that doesn't happen to you. So here's how it works. When a temp submits an offer on your shift, that offer is only available for 18 hours. And if you don't respond, the offer then expires and the temp can move on to other opportunities and you've potentially lost the candidate. And why does this happen, right? So usually it's one of three things that I've seen after calling offices and finding out is notifications aren't set up properly. So the office doesn't know when offers come in. The offer arrives after hours and nobody sees it until the next day, or the person responsible for your TempStars account just isn't checking the platform regularly enough. So then what do, right? So there's three things. Set up push notifications on the TempStars app right now if you haven't already. It's super easy to do. It's in your notifications in your profile. You can just simply click it and you're good to go. Designate a team member to monitor the offers, especially during periods when you have an active shift posted and you have an urgent need to fill it. And build the daily habit of checking your TempStars app. Just like you check your patient schedule every single morning, add on checking your TempStars app. Last minute coverage requires these last minute actions to be successful there. Okay, now I want to take a moment to acknowledge something important. So some situations are just genuinely beyond your control, and TempStars absolutely understands that. Severe weather is the clearest example and something that we've seen a lot during this winter season. Cancellations due to severe weather are completely exempt from penalties. TempStars uses objective national weather alerts and public transportation cancellations to determine qualifying events. So this isn't a subjective thing here. When severe weather hits, neither party is penalized and we handle it fairly for everyone. So for all the other extenuating circumstances, TempStars evaluates each situation individually. The most important thing you can do is contact support as soon as you know. Don't wait until the last minute to reach out. The sooner we hear from you, the more we can help you. And you can always reach out. It's here at the bottom, but I'll have it on the final slide. It's help@tempstars.com. You can always send an email and request a phone call if you just need to talk through the situation directly, but we're always here to help, so you can always reach out. All right. Now that you know your options and you understand the policies, let's talk about how the best offices on TempStars actually handle the stuff in practice. Act as early as possible, like I said. Every hour you wait literally narrows your options and increases your costs. This is the single most important thing to remember. And always use the platform first. I know I've said this quite a few times today, but it genuinely cannot be overstated. Modifications and cancellations must go through the app directly and not just an in-app message. And consider modifying before canceling. A shorter shift is almost always better than no coverage at all. And keep your favorite roster updated. Familiar temps respond faster, already know your office, and they actually have the ability to book your office manually through the app. And that's a feature a lot of offices don't know about. It's just manually booking your shifts. And post shifts proactively. So if you're not 100% sure that you'll need coverage, posting early gives you the most candidates and the most options. If you need to cancel, you can always do it before the 24-hour mark. So just know that moving forward. And set up those notifications. Don't miss the great offer because your alerts weren't turned on or you weren't checking your TempStars app. Communicate with your temp even when plans change. A simple courtesy message to them through the app goes a long way in maintaining that positive professional relationship, especially if this is a temp you've had in your office before and you know you want them back in. And always contact support when you need that guidance. Again, help@tempstars.com is always there. And the bottom line, the best offices stay proactive, communicate early, and they use every tool that TempStars has to offer. And we have quite a few, as you can see. All right, let's bring it home. The 4 things I want you to walk away with today. So you have options, right? Modifying hours is almost always better than canceling outright. Before you cancel, just ask yourself, is there another way? Acting early. The earlier you make a change, the less it costs you financially and reputationally. Time is genuinely money. Oh. TempStars is built for the last minute, right? We went over that partial offers, the instant notifications, your favorite roster, and your best tool. They're all your best tools when things can change quickly. So just use them. And always, 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 again, use the platform. Modifications and cancellations must go through the app, not just that in-app text feature. That's what protects you and your temp the most. So these 4 things, if you remember nothing from today, these are the things to remember. All right. So that is the wrap today. I genuinely hope this gives you the confidence to handle whatever last minute situation comes your way, because a prepared office is always a more resilient office. And before we get to the questions, I did want to flag something for everyone who's been posting shifts and not getting the responses that you'd like. That's something that I personally can help with. So you can always grab a spot on my calendar. There's the QR code. Just simply scan it on this slide, and then we can chat one-on-one. And then I'll take a look at your postings, your personal profile, and I can help optimize anything that's going on there. And then, of course, like I promised, the help@tempstars.com email is here for you. All the emails go directly to our amazing customer support team that can handle any situation, any question you head their way. And then, of course, stay tuned for upcoming webinar topics in the coming months. I do one every single month. And if there's something specific that you'd like me to cover, just drop it in the chat now, or you can email it over to our customer support team. I've built this series specifically for you, so your feedback helps with everything that I do with these. So I really appreciate that. All right, all that out of the way. Let's get to your questions. Does anybody have any that you want to talk about? Or Mallory, I haven't been looking at the chat, so I don't know what's been going on in there.
Nothing quite yet, but I do think we've got a small enough group. If anyone wants to unmute and ask a question, or you're welcome to use the chat, we'd be happy to answer them.
And also, just so everyone knows, these webinars are also recorded for future reference, or for any team members that weren't able to attend today. I believe we'll be emailing the recording out to offices, and then you can also check out all my previous webinars that I've done on our YouTube channel. You can just go to YouTube and type in TempStars, and all my webinars are posted there for you for reference.
I have a question there, Shelby.
Sure.
My name's Neville. I'm a dentist, and I've used TempStars for quite a while, and we've had good results with TempStars. So thank you for what you provide as far as the service goes. You know, one thing you mentioned about is, you know, your office rating. Is it possible for a provider to access what their rating is?
It's a great question, and I'm going to jump in and answer this one because we are in the midst of revamping it. And so far, a talent has only been able to rate an office as they liked working at the office, or they prefer not to work back at the office again. And so we have kept that very internal. But within the short I'm going to say 2 months, we're going to roll out a new system. And there will be more detailed ratings on an office. We've started to collect it already, but we are not sharing those ratings quite transparent yet, but there are plans to. And so offices will be able to see ratings from anything from their office environment to how prepared was the temp, like the orientation that they received from the office, PPE and infection control, and tools and equipment. And then internally, we track things like cancellations and on-time payments according to whatever the payment terms were. And so we are getting to a point where we will be able to show that on a stats page for each office. They will be able to kind of view their track record, and we will see what aspects will be shown to the community or not shown to the community, which ones will stay internal, as we want to find a balance to that, as we know it's it's a delicate thing to navigate for everybody when it comes to feedback and reviews. But we haven't been as transparent with those ratings, but we do have plans this year to get there for everybody, and that will be on both sides of the platform. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's very good. I think maybe a suggestion for a future topic might be to help offices best prepare for a temp. What needs to be in place for that temp to make things flow well for both the temp as well as the office there. So a suggestion.
I love that suggestion. And I think Shelby may have covered that last year, so it's probably
Mhm.
on YouTube. And we also worked with a hygienist and office manager. Her name is Olivia, and she is quite the professional. And we partnered with her to do a whole series on how to prepare for a temp and also how to best prepare for each of those attributes you're going to be rated on. All of those are available on our YouTube channel. And we are also in kind of the midst of bringing them in app for offices to be able to access as well. So I love that suggestion. I think it's super valuable. And if I recall correctly, on our knowledge base, we also have a checklist that offices can download and utilize if they want just kind of a quick glance on what's going to help them prepare for that temp best. But that's a lovely suggestion and one that we should probably revisit every year. Does anyone else have any questions? Hopefully this was a helpful topic for today.
Yes, and we had a question. I think it's in the chat. Yes, so this is being recorded. It will be sent out to offices as well as posted on our YouTube channel again. So you can head over to youtube.com and then search for TempStars, and not just this one, but all my previous webinars will be there for you to view and reference.
Yep. Give us about 24 hours to get it uploaded, but it will be there tomorrow.
Well, this was awesome. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time out of your busy day to join us. I appreciate it. And I see there is a need for different things and everybody joining, physically joining the live webinar. So that's great. So just keep your eyes peeled for next month to see what topics we have coming out. And I love that suggestion. I know I did do that one before, but I think moving forward, we're going to be updating it because there have been a couple product changes that rolled out in favor of that video. So I will be doing a more refined and updated version of that topic, and it'll probably go out later this year. So it's a good topic. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, y'all. Appreciate it.